Hey Acalanes, it's the Tech Board.
We're making a mini docuseries that will highlight different issues that our society faces today.
We interviewed different equity clubs on campus in hopes that they can help educate the student body on certain subjects.
These will cover topics that some may deem as controversial surrounding race, sexuality, religion, mental disabilities, and gender equality.
This series is only for educational purposes and it is not meant to force any beliefs on you.
The students interviewed are speaking on personal experiences, which may be different from your own.
Remember, they are one voice that is a part of a larger community.
We hope that this series can start a much-needed dialogue amongst our communities.
We hope you enjoy and stay safe out there.
I'm Zevin Acuna. I'm a senior. I'm with Latinos Unidos, and I'm the president.
Hi, I'm Sophia. I'm a junior and I'm a member of Latinos Unidos.
Hi, my name is Marisa Guerra Echeverria. I'm a sophomore and I'm a member of Latinos Unidos.
Hi, I'm Zoya Acuna. I'm in 9th grade and I'm a member of Latinos Unidos.
Latinos Unidos is just a club that's trying to promote a safe space.
Kind of a safe place.
Just a safe space.
Just a safe place for people of color or just allies to come and spend time, just to kind of hang out.
I think in our community there's not a lot of people of color, so it's just nice to see everybody that sort of looks like you and share your culture, what you're going through, or whatever.
People should join Latinos Unidos if they consider themselves an ally to the people of color community, as well as the Latino community, Latinx community. People
should join it to just kind of build a sense of community, especially allies to the Latino community.
I mean, it's just fun. We just chat, have a good time.
You don't have to really do anything, just hang out with people you can relate to.
The reason I started Latinos Unidos was because when I was a freshman or sophomore, I believe, I joined the BSU, the Black Student Union, and I noticed that a lot of Latinx students weren't really showing up to those meetings, even though it was very clear that it was a safe space for all students of color and all students in general. And I just wanted to create a space where Latinx students could show up and have their voice heard.
Yeah, over here there aren't really that many Latinos, and I thought that it was a good way to kind of share culture and just kind of bond.
I mean, I don't really know that many Latino people on campus, so I thought that would be cool to meet some new ones.
I think definitely BSU has a big influence on the club just because they've been a club longer than Latinos Unidos has, and I think they have some really good ideas. So
I get a lot of my inspiration from there, especially Deja and Jaden when she was here as well. The impact that Latinos Unidos has had on the Acalanes campus, I'd honestly say is kind of minimal right now, just because it's our first year. I'm still learning how things are working, and yeah, it's tough, especially because we're in COVID right now and we can't really actually meet as a group, and there's something about meeting up as a group and the intimacy with that, and you don't really get that from Zoom.
We've done stuff we set up an ofrenda for Dia de los Muertos.
I mean, again, it's just a nice place for everybody to come together, which I hadn't really had before.
And I think in the future, as years go on, it will be more impactful.
Looking back at it, my earliest memory of race was probably elementary school. I just knew that I was brown and the rest of the kids were white.
I remember it was at the beginning of the year, and it was an All About Me project. And there was another Latina in my classroom, and we got to present. She just presented herself and everything. And my teacher, the teacher just straight up asked her, "Where are you from? Were you born here?" And all of that just because she was of a different race. And that's kind of when I realized that, yeah.
4th grade, I joined a soccer team, Eclipse, and I think it was just there weren't a lot of people who looked like me on my team, and we would play against a team that was completely Mexican and they all spoke Spanish, and I'm mixed, so half white, half Mexican. I don't speak Spanish. I kind of felt like I didn't really fit in on either team.
I have been a victim of harassment because of my race in my community on more than one occasion. whether that's like it's happening in school, it's happening out in like downtown, it's happening everywhere.
I wouldn't say harassment, but definitely like small stereotypes or remarks.
It's just a little comments and remarks.
Like, not me personally. I face microaggressions, but I have some members of my family who have experienced more like heavier stuff.
What makes me proud to be Latino and Hispanic is pretty much every aspect of life that comes with it. Whether that's music, culture, tradition, celebration, food is like my favorite part, but there's so many different aspects as well.
Like the hard work, the work ethic, and then we also like celebrate small accomplishments and especially the music. I really like the music.
There's amazing food and music and like others have said, like values and just like work ethic.
The culture, definitely. My family's over there. The food, the music, the family values, like the emphasis on just being together. And the beautiful cities. I mean, it's a lot more than what they teach you in the classrooms.
I definitely believe that staff has definitely contributed to an anti-bias classroom as well as an anti-bias campus.
Yeah, I think that some staff have kind of promoted like anti-bias, but it's really up to like students, I want to say.
I definitely think that our community has done a good job at making our community inclusive, but at the same time there's a lot of work that we need to do to make it a safer community.
I mean, sure, they kind of preach the whole culturally inclusive type thing, but I think it goes deeper than that with like what the people actually do, because I feel like a lot of it's just performative, and when it's really time to take action or have empathy, they kind of just skip over that, go beyond posting that thing on Instagram or actually talk in cohorts, that kind of thing, because there's not really enough change unless you really empathize with something.
The only time we ever focus on Latinx history and Hispanic history is during Latinx and Hispanic Heritage Month. And at that point, it just feels like it's for show. And there's no real reason that we're actually learning it other than to be performative. I think Acalanes can better portray Latinx and Hispanic history through a variety of ways. I think those ways are just
Include it. I feel like we don't really learn it at all unless you take a Spanish class. Like we learn about Cesar Chavez, I think once in like world history or something, I don't know.
Definitely a majority of the work that we do has to do with white authors and white history.
You only really learn about Spanish culture if you're like taking a Spanish class. And even in that, we don't learn about it too much. So I think just including it, because there's so much that people don't know and don't learn about.
I remember that there was a proposal earlier in this year to have an African American Studies class, but the school didn't accept it. And I feel like Acalanes could just take those actions if it wanted to be more culturally inclusive. It's one thing to like kind of be like, oh yes, we're culturally inclusive and all of that, but then there's actually taking like the measures to kind of institute more like diverse history and all of that.
I'd like to share a message to the community that everyone is welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
Anyone's welcome.
Just really anybody. I mean, we're pretty welcoming.
Even if you're just an ally, you don't have to be a person of color. You can still come to the meetings. It's open to anyone, and it's just a fun and safe place to spend your time at lunch.
Currently, Latinos Unidos doesn't have any planned events, but we do meet almost every Wednesday during lunch, and our Zoom code is on the Acalanes Club's Zoom spreadsheet. Cool, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.